play the open source way. Circuit Python Day, we code and play the open source way. We code and play.
Code. Play. Code. Play.
Live from Brooklyn, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, thanks for your patience. We had a jam-packed show and tell.
Show and tell was gigantic.
It was massive, lots of people,
Gigantic.
lots of demos. We're back on our bullshit for sure, and so is everybody else. It's great to see. It's me, Lady Ada, with me, Mr. Lady Ada. I am the engineer. He's on camera control, broadcasting live from Brooklyn. That's where we moved to. A little bit about that in a moment, and also the code. So let's get right into it because we have a lot to cover. We want to get it.
Yeah. On tonight's show, the code is BKLYN Brooklyn, 10% off. In the Adafruit show, all the way up to midnight, we are celebrating our move to Industry City. It is where Adafruit is at. We have news about that and more. You can check out all the social media places. We are here. This is where Adafruit is at now. It's a huge upgrade for us. We're celebrating. The move cost money, of course. So please buy some stuff from us. It helps cover the costs of the move and us being able to do more stuff.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some of our live shows, including show and tell, a little bit of where we're at with Desk of Lady Ada. That show is back too. We have JP's product pick of the week. We'll be showing a highlight from JP's show. A little bit of a reminder, JP's workshop is this week. It's Circuit Python Day, August 16th. We'll be talking about that. We're going to do some open source hardware news, including just a little bit. There's some industry news. We want to talk about this DEF CON badge thing that came up. We have some advanced manufacturing.
This New York.
Advanced manufacturing made in Brooklyn.
Okay, but Brooklyn, it's a borough.
Yeah, but now it's very specific. Before we said made in Manhattan sometimes, we said made in New York City, but we want to be specific. We got some 3D printing, not only some videos, but some news. Stratasys looks like they're suing Bamboo Labs, so we'll talk about the possible solution. We had an idea. We can't fix this, but we know some folks who can, so we'll talk about that. Ion API brought to you by DigiKey. This week, it's Arduino. Lady Ada will talk about that and more. We have some top secret. We've got some new products. We're going to answer your questions. We do that on Discord, adafruit.it/Discord. That's where we answer questions, put them up there. We're going to get them, some of them throughout the show, and then some of them at the very end. All that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer.
We got some new graphics too.
The entire show graphics are getting updated with the move. I'm just putting in like one at a time.
They're all in boxes.
They're all in boxes. Yeah. So quickly, don't forget the code is Brooklyn, BKLAYN. This is where I start to run out of energy, but I'm here. Lady Ada, we give free stuff in addition to discount code.
From our Brooklyn warehouse, it'll ship super fast. We're back to near instant shipping. Yeah. And you also get some freebies, $99 or more. You get a beautiful black coaster with a gold Adafruit on it, made out of PCB material. Yeah. And some bumpers to keep them scratching your desk. $149 or more, you get a KB2040 Pro Micro Pinout compatible microcontroller board. If you're wondering, hey, you're going to update this to the KB2350? Yeah, as soon as we get some chips. So stay tuned. But in the meantime, you can pick up one of these or get them free. Free shipping for orders over $199 and orders over $299. Get a Circuit Playground Express, my favorite all-in-one dev board with IR and buttons and NeoPixels, sensors, capacitive touch, and more. It's a great way to learn microcontrollers and programming because you can run it with Arduino or CircuitPython or MicroPython. Code.org, CS Discovery, code, and more.
So you get the free stuff, you get the code. If you don't want to order from us, that's okay. We're doing a reseller highlight of the day. If you go to our reseller section, we're putting this on social media more, and this is kind of like a mailbag. One of the resellers was thankful. They're like, oh, thanks. So this is Electronics, and they're a distributor. All around the world we have distributors, so do check them out. We also have some back-to-school gift guides. That's some news I wanted to mention. Check it out on adafruit.com and look at the guides. And then for the folks who are in the maker biz, we are switching credit card processors because we want to have more features and more things for our customers. So as of right now, we're testing out Stripe. And if you use guest checkout, it will be using Stripe. We're going to see how it all goes. We're doing the implementation now. No one probably notices because guest checkout is guest checkout. It'll be seamless for the customers as we roll it out, but for the folks who are interested in this, we need to make sure that we can keep up with all the things that a credit card processor should be doing in 2024. Stripe had a pretty good deal, and they're well known, of course. We probably use them on a lot of websites and don't even realize it. But credit card processors, the fees they take, the features they have, and more important.
I'll be honest, it wasn't less expensive. It's just better security.
Yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
and for what it does, it's a deal. Like it
Yeah.
really is.
No, it's totally worth it, but it's like you
Yeah.
can still use your orders.
Oh yeah, we have to. Everything's more expensive. It's just how it is. Okay. And then we just did our live show that we like to do every week called Show and Tell. And on the Show and Tell this week, you have to go watch it. There's a lot. There's a ton of cool projects, but I'll just say tune in to see Particle. Zach Mojica stopped by, and there is a new device, small board computer, SBC. It's the Tachyon. It's a Kickstarter right now. I'm going to back it right after Ask an Engineer. Very cool board. It is, they showed one of two on planet Earth right now. And
Wow.
very cool. It's like all the best of like a phone, but
Well,
microcontroller.
they've sandwiched the Earth because one's in like America and one's in Asia, so maybe it's like the Earth is a tachyon sandwich.
And so from the future, it is very cool. And like I said, I'm gonna back it. But you
Big
get
deal. You get like a lot of capabilities. It's
Yeah,
got like built-in
149 bucks.
memories, all the Wi-Fi, cellular, Bluetooth,
Yeah.
GPS, I think also, lots of capabilities and nice things like USB-C, not just USB-A ports, very slim, so good for embedding
Yeah.
into products and projects.
Yeah, like the analogy is like you want to have all the benefits of this cell phone world for the last couple decades. But you do microcontrollers and you need to control stuff. So like controlling stuff with pins, GPIO, with all the good things of a phone, low power, and um, being able to communicate, anywhere on planet Earth.
Yeah.
It's very neat. So
It's
check
like
it
a
out.
better version of like there was man, what was the name? It was like 40 boards or like 96 boards. But I never found it easy to use, especially with a 2 millimeter pin out pitch and 1.8 volt logic. So this looks like it's
Okay.
gonna be way easier for people.
Alrighty, and then on Sundays we do Desk of Lady Ada, including the Great Search that will be returning on a regular basis. We did one last week. We will continue to do that, and then on Tuesdays,
Gear up.
JP's product pick of the week. Here is the latest highlight.
It is the DS2484 I2C to one-wire bus breakout. Here is the DS2484. Connected to it, I have a one-wire temperature sensor. Now I've got I2C to one wire, and I can use this type of sensor right on my computer. To do this, I'm going to use Python. In the Macintosh terminal, I'm saying Python 3 code.py. It'll run that. ROM ID, and you can see it there, 287D, blah, blah, blah. And then it's going to start reporting the temperature. And plunge that into this ice water. We should see this start to drop pretty rapidly. I'm checking it every second. So there you can see 69 degrees, 65, 61. In the middle here, I have some very hot water. So yeah, around 189, 190 degrees. This is the DS2484 I2C to one wire bus adapter.
Alrighty, and then JP's workshop is on Thursdays. We're doing a special CircuitPython Day edition soon. Deep Dive is on Friday with Tim or Scott. That's also going to be a special edition. It is CircuitPython Day. So this week's highlight for Python on hardware is simply and only
The most biggest,
it's the snakiest day of the year.
snakiest,
It's CircuitPython Day. So you can check the newsletter. You can go to Adafruit Daily.
massive newsletter.
Massive newsletter. It's the 300th issue. Yes, we timed it that way.
Yeah,
You
we
could
thought
check-
about it 300 weeks ago.
Yeah, you could check out the schedule and more. 11 a.m. 3D Hangouts, 1 p.m. Maker Chat, 2 p.m. CircuitPython Project, JP's Workshop, Deep Dive with Scott, 6 p.m. We have a CircuitPython game jam with Tim, and we have more. We also have Lady Ada doing one at 3 p.m. It is a big day. We have tons of fun, tons of graphics. We're doing a lot of neat stuff. Schedule is posted. Do join us. We're also going to have a pretty sweet discount on Friday and
Yep.
Friday only. So for all this and more, even after, CircuitPython Day, go to Adafruit Daily. It's the only place that I know of where you can get Python on hardware newsletters, spam free. It's a completely separate site, has nothing to do with your store account. Do check it out. All right, we have some open source hardware news. I'm using their new logo. There's Oshawa. We do certifications. So
We certify everything now.
we
And we're
are
keeping on top of it.
we are open source hardware, and to prove it, we do a certification. That means putting up our files, having an open source license.
How many do we have?
777.
Ooh,
So I used one of the AI generation tools, and I made this. Bing, 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 bing.
Certification.
So yeah, certifications. That's what it came up with. So we're gonna do a better version of this graphic, of course, but this gave me some ideas, and I like the idea of like maybe all the open source hardware company, the logos would be in the tumblers,
Yeah.
and then it goes ding, 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 and 777. So
All the dice are 555. They're 5 on every
Yeah,
side.
I
It's interesting. I guess 5 is the diciest looking side.
yeah. So
Well,
it should be like a
okay.
5 and a 2. Anyways, so that's our celebration. Is we currently have the most open source hardware certifications. So that brings me to another topic about open source hardware. So over the weekend there was controversy because there is a DEF CON. This is the DEF CON badge. You can read all about it. It's a very cool device. There was a lot of drama about who paid who and when, and if it went over budget. And then it just all melted down, and people were angry. Someone was supposedly dragged off stage. Who knows? Who cares? But one thing is cool
We'll
for
come back,
sure.
bitches.
DEF CON is back. It's back. So you can check
Nobody's
out.
not talking about like hats or masks anymore. Now it's just about credit and licensing.
Yeah.
Now that's what we
So,
should be arguing about.
yeah. So
And who slept with who?
yeah, and what hotel is searching your rooms and trying to get your hacker gear?
And who has the best drugs?
Yeah, and so our I guess request is for the folks who do hardware badges at conferences, please consider using open source hardware certifications, open source hardware licenses, open source licenses, and do your work on something like GitHub where there is a log of all the things. Because one of the bits of controversy is, well, at the last second, someone slipped in firmware because they want a credit and there's a Bitcoin address. Who actually owns it? There was like individual licenses being doled out. Oh, you can use it, you can't. Well, if it's open source hardware and it's the spirit of something like DEF CON, there's no reason that particular piece should be in question. And all the people who went to this event, I think there's 30,000 badges made.
Yeah.
That's their hardware, and they should have access to all the files, the source, the schematic, and
It's no
you'd be able
real
to see them.
value of the schematic or hardware post conference. It's not like somebody's going to be able to run the file the day of
So
the event.
the thing is, in the hardware world, this type of controversy and people being crummy to each other online, and just like the Twitter or X dunking and slamming and
Stuff.
cancellation,
Discord.
it just makes us look all bad. It's like, it's about coming together and building and sharing. It could be solved by just saying like, hey, if you're going to do a badge with DEF CON, here's the open source license we use. Here's the place where you put the files in the repository. The people who get the badge, they have access to the schematics and source code. They can inspect it, and there's no funny biz. And that would have eliminated everything. So that's just my suggestion is when folks do a conference badge in particular, because there's always deadlines, there's always weird stuff going on. Consider open source licensing of what it is, and you can release it at a later date, but that allows this to be free when something does happen, and something will. It's DEF CON. So anyways, check out the badge. It's cool.
Cool.
Um,
Python board definition for it.
yeah, we do, because it works with
So for 2350, we have CircuitPython support.
yeah. So that being said, we're gonna do some advanced factory footage this week. That was our time lapse. Here is a photo of the machines. The line is almost set up and ready to go. We're here.
Exciting.
And we'll have more. We're doing a lot of filming in the space, and you can expect to see some glimpses into some advanced manufacturing made in Brooklyn. 3D printing time. All right. You thought you were going to get away without another conversation, didn't you?
Oh no, it's a conversation.
It's a conversation. So we have a brief blog post about Stratasys. They're apparently suing Bamboo Labs. Stratasys has a bunch of 3D printing patents. It's debatable if these are valid patents. We saw this tweet. This is from
Well, look, I want
3D, the Canuck creator. Looks like Stratasys is taking Bamboo Global to court over patent violations, RFD spools, and purge towers. Will be interesting to see how this plays out. We linked.
what is what's his name? Think about this, Prusa.
Well, I'm glad you asked. So I emailed Prusa and I emailed the Open Source Hardware Association because here's the solution. You ready? A database where everyone can contribute prior art for 3D printing, because the Stratasys stuff, my brief look at it, looks like this stuff was around for a while and maybe the patent shouldn't have been granted. And what could happen, and it probably requires a little bit of funding. You could do that through something like the Open Source Hardware Association. You can do that through Prusa if they had like a donate to keep printing free. You could have a server that just has prior art and you could just reference it, and the open source hardware certifications could kind of be like prior, but here's the challenge. Prusa is kind of going a different direction because they were saying, you know, maybe open source hardware isn't going to work out for them. I emailed them because they said they were going to do a follow-up article last year, emailed Ashwa. I don't have time to work on this, but if folks are worried about keeping 3D printing open and free, being able to do it, maybe invalidating some patents for, this is, you know, the East Texas patent
That's
stuff
the
that goes on.
easiest way to win a patent war is if you can come in with really good prior art.
Yeah. So anywho, and you know, the patent system, there's challenges and things are different now, but this is one of those times where the community can come together. There's so much talk in the 3D printing world. I wish it could be captured to power 3D printers, turn it into filament or something. But instead of that energy dunking on, you know, other people or who has the best 3D printer, or just like it's just, you could use it for good, which is maybe Stratasys could have some patents invalidated because they seem to be predatory. Anywho, so check out the blog post. All right. And thanks for being patient. Here's some videos.
You can build a custom display to show live wait times of your favorite rides from your favorite theme parks. This project uses the QTimes.com API to show the wait times of your top 5 favorite theme park rides. It's a fun IoT project that lets you gauge crowd levels, even if you live thousands of miles away or if you have an upcoming trip. The 4-inch round display is powered by the Qualia ESP32S3. This IoT dev board is designed to make it easy to use TTL RGB displays using 16 megabytes of flash and 8 megabytes of PS RAM. The CircuitPython code uses QTime.com API and displays the wait times on the screen overlaid on top of a custom background image. An arcade button lets you switch between 2 different theme parks and shows your top 5 rides with their wait times. You can easily change the URLs in the top of the code to be your favorite theme park rides. It's easy to install the latest version of CircuitPython using the Adafruit ESP Tool website using the Google Chrome browser. You can get the parts and code to build this project by checking out the guide at learn.adafruit.com. The 3D printed case houses all of the components, and you can even customize the faceplate to match the theme of your favorite theme park. We hope this inspires you to check out the Qualia ESP32S3 and a round display for your next IoT project.
Alrighty, don't forget the code is PKLY, and let's go over to INPI.
On MPI.
INPI brought to you by DigiKey and Adafruit. Thanks, DigiKey. This week, our old friends,
Yay!
Arduino.
They're back. Everyone's making hardware again.
Everybody's back making hardware. We're doing this again because we always do this thing. So Arduino, what is the new product introduction NPI of the week this week?
Okay. I'm excited. This looks really cool. And then, Jackie emailed and was like, "Hey, have you seen this?" And I was like, "I have." And in fact, I'm going to cover it for INPI. It's the new plug and make kit from Arduino, which I love for like 6 reasons. I love this.
We emailed them today. We're like, we're gonna do this
Look at
today.
this. It's plug and play. There's so many sensors. It uses Quick/Stemma QT. It's got Wi-Fi, and it's the same price as the Arduino starter pack. So let's get into what's going on. Arduino, you know and love them because of the Arduino Uno. You know, what is it now? Like 15 years old.
Yeah.
This board started everything. The thing that was so great about this board, and I've done so many talks about it, is you can program it with any computer. You just need a USB port. You don't need any commercial compilers. People used to pay for microcontroller compilers. Yep. Hundreds of dollars for a copy of Keel. So it used GCC compilers. It was easy to write code for. People have lots of examples, but the most important thing, in my opinion, was those socket headers that are labeled. Having those socket headers meant that people could plug in wires into a breadboard and, like, low cost premium wires, or like hand cut and stripped 22 gauge solid core wires, and would allow you to make, very fast and easy prototype circuits. So you wouldn't have to like make custom PCBs. You wouldn't have to solder together perf boards. You wouldn't need any tools at all. You just need a breadboard, costs $5, a couple through-hole components, still easy to get, and some wires. And like, this is from, our Simon Monk tutorial on blinking LED. Historically a very complicated task, but like made so easy because you could just poke your wires into the power supply and GPI opens. To build on that success, Arduino released the starter kit, also 10 years ago. And we made it for a while for them too in New York. And what's cool about the starter kit is, again, it was like everything you needed to get started with doing electronics and microcontroller and programming. You got LEDs and sensors and buttons and like motors and transistors and the wire kit and the breadboard. So you didn't need a soldering iron, and you didn't need a hot air gun. You didn't need any tools at all. You could do this just at your computer desk. Great for students. It was really popular as a gift for students and people who wanted to learn making. And so the next generation is here. This, not that this Arduino starter kit isn't still totally valid and great, especially if you want to learn breadboarding and you want to create custom circuitry. But if you are interested in something really easy, even simpler, less wiring stress, less worries about like how to use a breadboard, you can really just plug and make. This new pack comes with the new Uno R4, comes with 7 sensor boards, a base, and Arduino Cloud, so you can make internet connected products and projects within an hour. So first up, instead of the Arduino Uno, which was based on the Atmega 328, it now comes with the the Arduino Uno R4, which has a Renesas processor on it. The MA4, I believe, is the part number, and an Espressif coprocessor for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. USB-C still has those standard headers, has a built-in 12x18 onboard matrix, so you can scroll, text or updates or graph your sensor data, which is really nice because you can have things be very standalone. And we covered this.
Look how young we were.
This is like a year ago, Phil.
Look how young I was.
No, we were still pretty stressed back then. This was in 2023, almost exactly 1 year ago. We covered what?
Everything's so different now.
Yeah, I know. We covered the R4 Minima and the R4 Wi-Fi. We have so much more space. Remember how cramped we were?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now we can actually like put our arms to the side. And one of the things that's great about this board is on the Wi-Fi, they added a JST-SH I2C connector, which is also known as Quick. At Adafruit, we call it STEM QT because we made ours 5-volt compatible, so it's slightly different, but it's still back compatible with Quick. There's also a bunch of there's Pico and there's just a bunch of other very similar, same connector, cross compatible standards.
Grove,
Grove you can use also with an adapter cable.
Gravity.
Gravity also, I think
We have a
Yeah.
guide about all this.
we have a guide about it, which
We made ours the most compatible. That's what our goal was. That's what we did.
but there's now easily
Yeah.
1,000 different I2C sensors that you can all plug and play,
That's right.
from OLEDs to GPS to accelerometers, temperature sensors, distance sensors, and more. What's great about this is you can plug and play and chain together sensors. You don't have to worry about addressing or special protocols. You just plug each in, as long as you only have one of each type, which is pretty common. Usually you don't need 2 GPS units. You can connect pretty much as many as you want.
This is a
So
big request from us. If you look at previous Arduino days,
reset, please.
every time we're like, can you please do this? And we did.
So they finally did. So their new system is called Modulino, and you get 7 Modulinos with this board, starting from the top, top left. There is a LSM60 SOX 6DOF IMU, inertial measurement unit. Below that is a VL53X distance sensor, I think up to 4 meters, laser distance sensor. There's a HDC 3003 Renesas humidity and temperature sensor. There's a piezo buzzer, a rotary encoder with 3 buttons, and like an 8 neopixely strip type thing. And for the top 3, those have I2C built in. For the bottom 5, the buzzer, 4, the buzzer, encoder, buttons, and pixels, there's an onboard STM32, like C0 something processor, very similar to our Seesaw design, which apparently people really like because there's a lot of variations now, very similar. Low cost I2C expander. And they have Arduino and MicroPython code libraries ready to go. But what's nice is that you can auto detect which board is plugged in. So you have all these variants. And they also give you this really cool plate that you can plug the boards onto, and there's mounting holes, the mounting standoffs. And because they think they must have used like 1 by 2 centimeters, it looks like, because they're European, it's very easy to arrange the boards. I think I think Sparkplug uses 1 inch by 1 inch. They use 1 centimeter by 2 centimeters. I personally prefer 0.7 by 1 inch. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The connector is the same, even if the mounting holes are slightly different. And there's tons and tons of content, free content.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you have to like buy a thing to get the tutorials, but at Arduino, it's really nice is they're free. And not only are they free, but you don't even have to buy ahead of time. So if you want to go check out the kinds of stuff you're going to learn, you can go and look at the projects now. So lots of different projects where you plug it in. Some are offline and some are online. You will need a computer to program it. You can use their cloud editor. So you can use a Chromebook, you can use Mac, Linux, Windows, or of course you can use the desktop IDE.
Yeah, like folks in the chat are saying, like obviously Arduino was inspired by the stuff Adafruit does, and we're happy, we're glad.
They're like, oh, Quick and obviously like Quick and STEM. It's
great.
It's interesting. It's like I saw Quick and people were telling me it's really good, and I was like, I didn't kind of get it. And then after 2 years, I was like, oh, this is a really good idea. And then I went all in. Like I redesigned all of our sensors.
The best thing that companies can do is show respect for their users and do stuff that just works better together.
They didn't come up with something new that isn't back compatible. Their stuff works with Adafruit stuff.
In the past, Arduino has done that, and I'm glad they're going in this direction for this.
Although I will warn that those Modulinos, they don't have an onboard regulator. This is one thing.
Well, maybe next version.
So you can only use it with 3.3 volt microcontroller boards, but here's the thing: 95% of boards are 3.3. So just a warning in case you try to plug them into an Arduino Uno, just make sure you power them from 3.3 volts. And then here is this is an example board. They show you how to make this water light sensor. Maybe it's a UV sensor. It tells you when it's
and you can use Arduino Cloud.
Yes, and I think they probably even give you like
you can do a 30-day maker monthly plan for free, and then they have other paid ones.
And the cool thing is that not only they have tons in stock, but it's the same price as the original starter kit, it's like $85. It's a great deal because you get this like Cortex M4 Super RAM, Super Flash, 5-volt friendly microcontroller board. The Renaissance RA4 base board with Wi-Fi and the LED screen and all the accessories that come with it.
Yeah.
You get a lot of cables, the mounting plate, and then 7 sensors. Like if you added up what it would cost to get all those separately,
It's a deal.
it would be like twice as much. So it's a really good deal. And because it's like so easy and plug and play, this is good for almost any age. I'd say like, 8-year-old plus.
We have a 20-month-old. She's using it all the time now.
Yeah, you just because you have to plug it in. And then yeah, you can get started programming it so quickly. No breadboarding, no wires, no like,
Yeah.
oh, did I
Good for
get it
classroom
the right way?
settings? Yeah.
It's great for classrooms. Great for classrooms.
Okay, we're going to play. They have a really nice video, and then we'll see you on the other side. That is this week's INFPI. Cool work and good work, Arduino.
Everybody get up. Everybody get up. Everybody get up.
Hard on NPI.
All right, don't forget the code is Brooklyn, the abbreviation BKLY, and let's do new products.
New.
All right, which one are we starting with, Lady Ada?
Let's start with the speaker. So we have in stock, we have a 4-ohm 3-watt speaker, but there's a lot of people who have amplifiers that don't drive 4-ohm speakers. So now we have an 8-ohm speaker. It's in a nice little case. So you don't have to worry about enclosing it. You get like fairly good bass and treble response. And we have a JST-PH connector on the end. Also, you can always cut and strip it off and wire directly. But it's just like a nice all-in-one speaker that's easily mounted. And like I said, you don't have to worry about the back of it. It's somewhat protected.
All righty, next up we have some cases.
Yes. A couple weeks ago, maybe last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, we put in some resin 3D printed cases for the TRS Trinky and the Pixel Trinky. Now we have them in a clear resin.
These are cool.
It's a little more expensive than the translucent resin, but for some people who really want the clear look, you can see how cool it is. Not only can you see the LED, but you can see all the connectors and stuff. We want to experiment with offering this as like a ready to go purchasable enclosure. Of course, if you want to 3D print your own, the files are up. It's all open source. You can print on your favorite printer or send it out to a service. But folks who don't want to have to worry about that and they don't want to pay for shipping and wait 2 weeks, we have them in stock immediately.
All right, and then we have the Raspberry Pi
Yes.
Pico 2.
Okay, so last week on Thursday, which seems like 4 years ago, but was
Yes.
actually 6 days,
It is.
because we didn't get to talk about this last week. There was an announcement. Raspberry Pi released the RP2350. We did a video about it. It's 8 minutes long. I'm not going to show it here. Check our YouTube. There's also tons of blog posts about it. It's an update to the RP2040. It has twice the RAM, has about twice the speed. It's an M33 core processor. You can run either the ARM cores or the RISC-V cores if you're interested in using an open source core. 50% more PIO blocks, so you get 12 state machines instead of 8. Really cool HSTX output peripheral. The Pico 2 itself has 4 megabytes of flash instead of 2 megabytes, which is going to be great for CircuitPython. Still has, 4 analog inputs. Still has all the standard pinout. Like the pinout is equivalent. So if you're using SPI on some pins, those will still be the SPI pins, etc. It's just a nice upgrade. There's also much better low power capabilities and much better much better low power capabilities and much better security on the chips. They has ARM Trust Zone built in. So one thing people were before, they're like, oh, how do I sign my firmware so it can't be run elsewhere? Well, now it's pretty easy to do because it's got it built into the chip. And they had a hacking bounty. Nobody was able to crack it. So they feel pretty confident about this chip. So the RP2350, like I said, they are releasing the Pico 2. We don't have them yet. Sign up as soon as we get these Pico 2s in stock. We will.
We don't do back orders, so when you get a notification, it means we have them in stock.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
Metro.
And then we do have our own boards that we're designing. So first up is the Metro design. I'll say I'm actually redesigning the whole thing from scratch because I want to use the bigger B series chip, which will mean more pinout. Like I want to turn the SD card into SDIO, and I want, maybe a USB port. But you can still sign up, and as soon as the Metro gets into production, you'll be notified. It'll look somewhat like this, but a bigger chip, and maybe some more accessories on it. But the basic idea is it's Arduino Shield compatible. It's going to have a buck converter on the 3.3 volt line, so you can get a couple amps out of it. HSTX output port, so you can get using the same 22 pin connector that the Raspberry Pi 5 has. All the GPIO you know and love, numbered in the way you expect. SPI port, I2C, STEMMA QT, boot button, reset button, USB Type-C, and a micro SD card slot.
All right, and the star of the show tonight, besides you, Lady Ada, our team, our community, the customers, and the people in Brooklyn who have given such a warm welcome to Adafruit and all of the team, is
the Feather RP2350, which you can see the code name for the RP2350 was Amethyst. So when I sent out boards, I didn't want to put the number on there, so there's no leakage. So this is the Feather version, which is actually pretty much done. And we got a reel of chips, so we will actually be putting this to manufacture like any day now.
Yeah.
I'm going to order PCBs like tonight. I was just waiting to make sure that there was no last minute changes. The Feather has a slot for PSRAM. It's got 8 megabytes of QSPI flash, the RP2350A series, STEMMA QT port, SW debug port, that same HSTX connector, so you can get 8 pins of high speed output plus I2C, so it's great to adapt to a DVI display, or if you want to try driving like a MIPI display. Boot reset buttons, NeoPixel, blinky LED, battery backup, and battery monitoring. I think I said USB-C already. Mounting holes, the low power built-in boost or buck converter, and I think it's gonna be in black, but prototype is in green, and it's good. We've got Arduino and CircuitPython. Well, sorry, Arduino support's coming soon. CircuitPython support is ready to go. So sign up, and then this is going to be the Metro's probably going to take another month, but this Feather will probably be in stock within a couple weeks. Yay! New.
Okay, so don't forget the code is BKLYN. Post your questions in Discord. We have some stored up already. We're going to do top secret, and then we're going to answer your questions, and then we're going to get out of here. So here's some top secret. From the vault. We're going to play video, and then we're going to talk about 2 things that Lady has been working on. All right, Lady Ada, what's this?
Okay, so RP2350 has finally been announced. We can talk about some of the hardware that we've designed. So this is the RP2350 Feather, codename Amethyst. And one thing that's cool about this Feather is it's got this 22-pin port on the end here, and this is HSTX, which stands for high-speed transmission. This is a new peripheral on the 2350 that allows it to send 8 pins of high-speed differential data, like for DVI. So we use the same 22-pin connector setup that the Pi 5 has for the DSI or CSI connection. Then we made a little breakout just to help us prototype with it. But what would be really cool is if we could just have a connector that goes directly from this to like an HDMI monitor. So today we designed this DVI breakout. So on the bottom here is that HSTX FPC connector. We have some resistors. We have a level shifter for the I2C, a little switch cap converter for the 5 volts that the HDMI wants. And then this is a standard DVI HDMI connector that you can connect into a monitor. So this adapter will let you use our Feather or our Metro, which also has an HSTX connector, to have DVI data into an HDMI monitor without using PIO, and hopefully one day make it work with the PSRAM as well, so you can have like high resolution data displaying on a monitor. So yeah, so we're slowly making progress on more RP2350 products and accessories.
Cool. And now we can say made in Brooklyn.
Yay!
Alrighty, Lady Ada, what is this?
So this was a different USB hub design. This one's using the USB 2422. Designed this like 2022 or something, or 2021, and then like this was hit hard by the chip shortage. So I'm slowly digging through my gigantic pile of like stuff that I started and didn't get finished.
Okay.
I redesigned this, added USB-C instead, cleaned it up a little bit, and sent it out.
All right, and then with this.
This is like a request design, although I'm already thinking of ways to improve it. So this is a USB-C LiPo charger that has a 3.3 volt buck converter built in. So it's kind of an all-in-one power supply. But I think I want to change the LiPo charger chip. So, but the idea is still there.
Stay tuned for more Top Secret. We'll be posting more across all the socials. Okie dokie. It's time. We're going to answer your questions. We have them stored up here in a handy dandy text file. Thanks for
Okay.
posting them in the Discord chat. Okay, first up, Lady Ada, 2 questions. What is a battery that's small enough for a smartwatch, 1 to 3 days life, runs an Arduino Nano chip, uses a RP2040 for certain inputs, but would not always be on? And 2, what's better for MLA request for simple local assistant, RP2040 or RP2350? Thanks so much.
Well, a battery for a smartwatch would probably be a LiPo battery, so like a 100 milliamp hour battery. I don't know what they meant by inputs or RP2040. Sounds like a totally different board. For MLAI, the RP2350 will always do better than the RP2040 because it's a faster chip. But honestly, if you want to do a local assistant, you need something like a Raspberry Pi 5.
Okay. This person is new to coding Arduino. Do you have a source so they can learn how to convert a string to an int and then map it to a switch case?
You know, this actually might be one of the times where ChatGPT could do a good job. You know, maybe ask it.
Yeah, give me some examples. Or no, I mean that's what you would ask.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have an example. Yeah, you'd like a ChatGPT 4, especially, or like Claude, might be able to say if you, especially if you give them examples, it might be able to. It won't give you perfect code, but it'll get you closer.
Okay. Do you have any modules for adjustable CVCC step down? I only found 5 volt one in the shop. There are plenty on AliExpress, but oddly, or rather for cost reasons, they all have a shut on the negative output. So you can't really bridge the in out grounds. Any suggestion on an IC to do this? LM2673 seems interesting, but it ain't cheap. LM25011 seems a bit cheaper. I need like 16 volt 1.5 amp out.
Yeah, this is challenging. So you want constant current output. That's not common. For that, you know, usually you get one or the other. You don't use both. Constant voltage obviously is easy. Constant current, if you don't want to do your own feedback loop, yeah, and a lot of LED drivers will do low side because they're designed for LEDs. So yeah, I don't actually know anything offhand. I think you might want to just use something. You might want to just DIY it. Like we've covered buck converter, or sorry, buck converters that have I2C control. And then you have, you know, an INA 219 looking at a high side shunt, and then you'd control the loop. It wouldn't be instantaneous, but as long as your load isn't changing too fast, you could probably keep up with it.
Okay. How many 5 volt quick QT controllers even are there? I can only think of the 32 from at least a decade ago.
It's more, yeah. Well, there's still a lot of Arduino Unos. There's tons of Arduino Unos out there that run on 5 volt power and 5 volt logic. So it's like there's only a couple chips that do it, but they're extremely popular.
Okay. Hey guys, do you make your own sensors patent or open hardware? If you do release a new thing, how do you decide? We do open source hardware.
Open source hardware.
That's how we decide. We do open source hardware, ride or die. That is what we will always do. We have 777 open hardware certifications. This is what the machine thinks that looks like. Cool. This is the certification.
Celebrating, right? But it didn't.
This is, yeah. This is what we do.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna keep doing it. Next up. Will they bring out noodles with NeoPixels in the future?
They might. But we do have very skinny NeoPixel strips.
Okay. Any plans for an upgraded prop maker feather with RP2350?
Yeah, I think I'll probably do a prop maker. Yeah, especially as to be honest, there's not many chips right now, but once there's more.
Will there be a version with PSRAM included? I can see myself running a couple boards trying to get it on there. I think they were talking about the feather.
Yeah, I think so too. To be honest, it's actually quite a challenge to get the 2 megabyte flash, 2 megabyte RAM chips. But as soon as I can get them, I just wanted to start with a no PSRAM version. And then we can always add PSRAM later, especially if it's not too expensive.
Are there any Adafruit battery chargers that support the lithium iron phosphate 3.2 volt? Any suitable designs in the works?
There aren't any in the works, but it's something I've thought about. Things we don't stock those batteries, although like, because it's 3.2 volts, it's safe to charge li-poly. Yeah, I don't have any offhand, although, a solar charger that does, LiPo 4 out would be pretty handy because a lot of people like them for safety, like, they're outdoors or safer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good idea.
Less floaty.
All right. Is there a glossary for all the terms you use, Feather Stemma? I'd say the best site is Learn. Just
Just go learn and type in.
any of the words.
Yeah.
One thing that I was experimenting with just for fun, I took some PDFs and I uploaded them to ChatGPT, and then I asked it about the PDFs. I'll give you an example. I had to read Elise, uploaded the PDF, and then I asked Elise a bunch of questions, and it answered me. And
Are we responsible
of
for
course, I double checked it.
this? Yeah.
Then I uploaded the Stratus patent suit against Bamboo Labs, and then I was asking it questions to help figure out exactly what some of their claims were. And so for things like this,
I heard was it ChatGPT 4 can pass the bar now or something?
well, I just use it as like a little pocket universe of knowledge. So one thing you could do is all of the content on Learn is available as PDFs or a variety of ways. You could feed that into something and have it pop out a word cloud or have it pop out a summary of different things. You could ask it questions. That's one of the cool things with computing now is if you have a data set, you can do lots of different things with it. I remember I took the all of the open source hardware certifications because there's dates, and I asked it questions via ChatGPT. I think I did a post on this. I said things like, when is the most common day of the week that people certify open hardware? At this rate, when will Adafruit reach 1,000 certifications? What about 1 million?
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, the things that you can do. So I would suggest do stuff like that. It's kind of fun.
I think that's it. No?
That's it.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, so
Right on time.
that's our show. Thanks everybody.
Wow, you did good. You like right.
Don't forget, Brooklyn is the code BKLYN. We are an open source hardware company now in Brooklyn, one of the only few. We join a ton of people in this very cool area called Industry City. And your orders help us not only pay the bills, but pay all these people with the skills. These aren't our team, these are other people who work in Industry City. And it's really important, I think, to have a company like Adafruit and companies that you see here doing something in the US and New York and Brooklyn, and hiring people, paying them great wages, having good healthcare plans, all the stuff, because it's rare, it's unique, and the only way that we're funded, it's not loans, it's not venture capital, is your orders. So we very much appreciate it. We have a lot of content in store. We have a lot of things that we want to do, but of course we are fueled by the thing called money. This is our new space. We'll have more videos, probably even do sometimes a tour soon. We got a lot of stuff planned. So thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been an Adafruit production. Here is your moment of Zener.
Thanks, everybody.
See you next week.